moment I entered, strolling coolly up the center aisle, my wrist resting on the hilt of my sword. Conversations dropped to whispers as people craned their necks to get a better view. My mother noticed me first, her powder blue eyes looking me over in a scowl. When people joined our ranks, finery and gowns were abandoned for a uniform of sorts, and most people were left with very little in the way of personal items. Mother reaped the benefits of this. She came down to eat daily in dresses once worn by someone else in the castle. The only woman in Vosseno Castle afforded such a privilege. To her right, Kawan's face was covered by the goblet he was drinking from. He slammed it on the table, wiping his wiry beard with the back of his already dirty sleeve. With a heavy sigh, he settled his eyes on me. "What's this?" he asked, motioning to my blood-stained clothing. "We had 3 attempted deserters this morning," I informed him. "You might want to send carts for the bodies before the wolves start scavenging." "Is that all?" Kawan asked. "Is that all?" No, it wasn't all. It was the most recent act in a string of deeds done for the sake of our people, done in Kawan's name, done to prove myself. And here I was, standing silent and dressed in blood, waiting for him to finally acknowledge me. I stood my ground, demanding he take note. I think it fairly impressive to single-handedly subdue 3 young, well-trained recruits in the dark of night, to guard the secrecy of both our location and intentions, and come out on the other side without a scratch. But I could be wrong. "You often are," he grumbled. "Trista, tell your son to calm down." My eyes flickered to my mother, but she remained silent. I knew he was baiting me. It was one of his favorite pastimes, and still, I was very close to taking a bite. I was saved by a commotion in the hallway. "Make way! Make way!" a boy shouted, running into the room. A shout like that meant one thing. The most recent commission was over, and our troops had returned. I turned around and watched as Aldrich and his lackeys strolled into the mess hall, each of them pulling 2 cows behind them. Kawan let out a low chuckle, and I stepped to the side as my moment was eclipsed. Aldrich was everything Kawan was looking for. Broad shoulders and a bendable will. His messy brown hair flopped forward over his forehead as he knelt down in the same place I'd just been standing. Behind him were 2 other soldiers, ones he'd specifically chosen to go with him for his commission. They were covered in red mud, and one of them was shirtless. I crossed my arms, taking in the scene. 6 cows in the mess hall. He could have left them outside, but Aldrich clearly knew this was by far the biggest and best conquest one of these missions had produced. The worst? A body in a burlap bag. "Mighty Kawan, I have brought back 6 cattle for the Daranian army. I submit my offering before you, hoping it proves my loyalty and worthiness," Aldrich said, with his head bent low. Several people applauded, grateful for resources, as if this would be enough to feed even a fraction of us. Kawan stood and walked over, inspecting the cows. Once he was done, he slapped Aldrich on the shoulder and turned to the crowd. "What say you? Does this offering please you?" "Yes!" everyone shouted. Well, almost everyone. Kawan let out a guttural laugh. "I agree. Arise, Aldrich. You have served your people well." Applause rang out, and the crowd converged around Aldrich and his team. I used the opportunity to duck away. I could only shake my head, wondering who he'd stolen them from. I was about to mentally chastise him for being so proud of himself, but then I looked at my shirt and reminded myself exactly who I was, and let it go.